welcome to a Trucker's Mind podcast. I'm Eddie McGee.
It's your boy K Things.
And we're back, man, episode 388.
Yes, sir.
Let's get right into it. This is a very unfortunate news headline, but imagine playing high school football and you know you're never going to win a fucking game. Here it goes. Columbia High School, Huntsville, Alabama, continues to hold the nation's longest high school football losing streak, which was at 93 games as of Friday, August 29th, 2025, after losing to Huffman 21-10. The Eagles' last win was in 2015, giving them a record-breaking streak that surpassed the previous longest in history. My God. This says key details. 93 games as of August 2025. Last win was in 2015. Historic streak was longest in high school football history with the previous record of 82 consecutive losses by Glasscock County in Georgia. Yeah, you definitely got a Glasscock. Recent game, the streak was extended by a 21-10 loss. Look, man, I'm going to say this. I'm not mad at the kids or anybody. I'm mad at the adults and the athletic director. They need to be fucking fired. They need to clean house on all those coaches. They need to get that athletic.
They got a new coach.
Huh?
They got a new coach this year.
Fuck him, too. You got to make sure that you're putting these players in the best position to win a game. It is just disrespectful because these young men, like, this could affect your growth in a way. Like, I'll say this. Like, when I was playing high school football, I know how it felt to be a part of a winning culture. My junior year, we went 13-0 and we won the Valley Championship, right? And within the room, whenever we were doing game film or at practice or whatever, there is a winning culture. People are different at that time. Like, football was fun when you're winning every game. But imagine losing every game and then also knowing you're going to lose. It's almost like if you get injured, it's a waste of an injury. You're never winning any fucking games. It's embarrassing. I hope that whoever has talent on that team, whoever it is, the running back, the wide receiver, somebody, I hope that they get an offer somewhere to a winning program because you ain't winning at that fucking school.
I don't think it's all the onus is on the coaches. The kids are the ones that's out there like running the plays and whatnot.
Yeah.
You can accidentally win a game. Like, to go basically a decade without winning a game is not 100% on the coaches. And I don't know this new coach, but I guess he is like a former NFL player or something like that. So, to my knowledge, he knows a little bit about what it takes to be, a successful football player. But for whatever reason, it's just not translating. They do have and I do know that there's like a such thing as a losing culture. Like there are teams here in town that just. They don't even, when you talk to the kids, they don't even have that winning mindset. Like, they don't even think winning. They know that they know there's a certain few teams that they might beat, but then they know when they play like the top dogs, when you play in like the Liberties and the BHSs and the Frontiers, they don't even think that they can win. And that's a lot of those kind of schools here in town. So I know that there's like a lot of schools, and kids out here in Bakersfield at least that kind of move like that. I know for me, I never have went into a game thinking that I was going to lose. I always fought, even if we didn't have a better record or whatever, we always knew that we were in the game, like we had the ability to win. So yeah, I don't know. They just got they got to get rid of the program.
Yeah, it's a shared liability, obviously, but coaches have to put players in the best position to win. And I think that you could have a completely stacked roster with a fucked up coaching staff, and you will have a losing record. I watched the LA Sparks the other night, and they're a prime example of it. You got a really good roster. You got Cameron Brink, and you got Kelsey Plum and De'Erica Hamby, and you got Rakia Jackson. You got all these really good players, and they're not being put in the best position to win. You had De'Erica Hamby getting backed down by fucking Aaliyah Boston, was punking her in the post. It's like, get her out and put Cameron Brink in. Like, they were struggling on defense. They couldn't get any rebounds. I'm like, yo, this is like some coaching miscues. There's something there's players being left wide open. Mm-hmm. So I think that regardless, it's not all on the players, but you got to put the pieces to the puzzle. Mm-hmm. And just also playing at a high level does not make you a good coach. I think that just because you might have been in the NFL, whatever, sometimes the game of football doesn't always translate from the best players. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's the guys that are mid-tier or backup players that become coaches. But since they were a student of the game, guys like Belichick and guys like that, they can take regular talent and turn it into winners. Like if you look at the NFL back when Tom Brady was with the Patriots, he had a platoon of wide receivers over the years. They weren't like top receivers. You know, they had a bunch of guys. They had an old ass linebacker in Teddy Bruschi. He wasn't like he wasn't like some super fast, super elusive linebacker. He just was tough. You know, guys like Mike Vrabel, and they won Super Bowls with that talent because their coaching staff put them in the best position to win. Who's another team? Oh, you know what? I'm gonna just say this. That 2010 Laker team, to me, is the best Laker team. It's my favorite Laker team. Outside of Pau Gasol and Kobe, you know, they had a Hurt Bynum who wasn't always there. They had Lamar Odom that was like 6-man, and he started sometime. But if you look at the rest of that roster with like Sasa Vujacic and freaking Jordan Farmar and guys like that, when you look at that roster, you're like, this is not a great-looking team. But because, you know, they had Phil Jackson putting it together, they ended up knocking Boston out with that team. Like, so I don't know, man. I just think it's fucked up. They got to get the right people around that program because losing for 10 years, something's wrong. 10 years?
Yeah. Yeah, how you going to put that on your resume? Like when you talking to, you know, jobs, like, hey, what did you learn from your football career? It's like, nothing.
I didn't learn shit.
How to lose?
It's like, so what did you learn from playing football? And how can you contribute to this team here at Home Depot? And you'd be like, I mean, I'm a bitch. That's crazy, man. Yeah, man. If with this team, they sorry. Yeah. So you'll go from playing a center for this team to being the center at Popeyes. That's basically where you're gonna go. A lot of times, as an adolescent or you know, as a young person, the things that you in the scenarios that you experience, they do shape your adult life. They can shape your adult life. Yeah. You know, I know what a winning culture looks like. I know what it feels like to be a part of a losing team. It's usually unorganized. It's unaccountable. It's you know, very lackluster. There's a bunch of signs telling you that.
It's different for me. I can't really speak for that team because I don't know historically what their football program looks like. Obviously, they've been losing for the past 10 years, but I mean, you know, back in the 90s and 80s, I don't know what their football team looked like. But I will say this is probably, you know, when you're coaching at a district in the high school district and stuff like that, it's a little different. So if you have a school that's not really focused on football, this is just another day, you know. And I don't want to speak too much on, you know, schools here in Bakersfield, but there are situations here in Bakersfield where if the coach is like a teacher or something, he might be a PE teacher, something like that, then it's going to be a little bit more difficult to get that person out of there or get that person fired because, one, they're still teaching at the school, so it would be a little bit weird to have that person step down when, you know, they're still, you know, going to be the teacher on Monday. So those are certain situations. It's a lot of politics involved when it comes to that. But this guy, you know, is to my knowledge, there's a new coach there, and it's still not working out.
Sammy Coates, I'm looking at him.
They got to blow it up, man. They might need to, you know, get rid of the football program for a couple of years and, you know, spend some resources on another women's sport or something because this is not looking good.
Yeah, man. There's that. I mean, just because you lost that one, it's still a lot of games to lose. So, I mean, I think that the best way to go out, if you're going to keep getting your ass kicked, at least win that last one. Yeah. You know, I think that winning a game for them at this point would be like a championship.
Oh, 100%.
100%.
Yeah.
I think that typically there are so many things that go into a program from the top going down, like, you know, proper training. So, weight training, scouting. So if you're going to be scouting a team, you got to be able to go deep and put the best players on the field that are going to impact that game. You cannot have, you know, this 150-pound defensive end going against a left tackle that's this is going to fucking kill him. You got to get somebody else in there. So, yeah. But anyways, not much else to say here.
Yeah, I'm done talking about losers.
Yeah. This podcast is losing now. It's a losing spirit.
Yeah.
All right, man. Let's go ahead and move on. Switching gears. Taylor Townsend. Recently, Taylor Townsend ended up winning a match against, what's her first name? Jelena Ostapenko. And Jelena had some choice words. Here it is. Taylor Townsend and Jelena Ostapenko post-matchup back and forth at the U.S. Open remained a topic of discussion Thursday. But not for Ostapenko, who skipped speaking to the news conference citing medical reasons, which is bullshit. Anyways, Townsend, an American who was ranked number 1 in doubles, and Ostapenko, a Latvian who won in 2017 French Open in singles, were back on the court separate doubles matches Thursday. Townsend and her partner won theirs. Ostapenko, doesn't matter. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of why we're talking about this. On Wednesday, after Townsend's straight set victory over Ostapenko in singles, they had an extended argument after shaking hands up at the net. It was not an argument. It was only one-sided argument. And Townsend, who is black, said Ostapenko called her uneducated while wagging a finger. He said, anyone and everyone that I've spoken to who saw anything, they obviously said that it was disrespectful. Townsend said, even the mannerisms of her hand pointing at my face like I'm a child and just the things that she was saying, everyone said it was bad behavior. Ostapenko afterwards on social media said she was bothered by 2 things Townsend did: begin the warm up by volleying instead of hitting shots from the baseline, which might not be unusual. Doesn't matter. Let's just stop it right here. Here's the deal. I think we have to be careful not to use racial tropes. So, for example, let's say I'm playing tennis against some white guy, right? And he kicked my ass. Like at the end, he kicked my ass, and then normally tennis players, they walk towards the middle of the court to shake hands. But instead of shaking his hand, I'm like, man, fuck you, you racist motherfucker. You fucking racist piece of shit, right? Him being racist and tennis have nothing to do together. It's just that I am using microaggressions towards this white guy for no reason. It's no different when you are using a racial trope against a black woman saying she's uneducated for no fucking reason. It's racist. We got to call it out. If you are finding a way, because we have to, racism is not just overt. It's not like you're the N-word. You're from this country. You're this. A lot of times it's other shit. Like, imagine you're playing a Mexican guy. He kicks your ass, and you're like, you know what? Get out of my country. Mm-hmm. Saying shit like that, I hope they build a wall. Get out of my country. Mm-hmm. Things like that are absolutely fucking racist. You got to cut that shit out, man. You got to learn how to take a loss, and you got to learn how to articulate a good message even when you're in a bad mood. Mm-hmm. You know, if you in a boxing match and the dude beat your ass real bad, what you gonna do? Like not shake the man's hand?
Yeah,
that's crazy. And I think it's unfortunate that a lot of people in the comment section were like, "This has nothing to do with race. This is just so exhausting. Why do people keep bringing up race?" Because, unfortunately, as much as we try to act progressive, man, people racist as a motherfucker. A lot of people are.
Yeah,
a lot of people are. We got to stop acting like we're not. A lot of people are. Especially after 9/11 happened, people was being overtly racist to anybody that was brown that wore a turban. If you wore a turban, it was open season on your ass. Mm-hmm. You got on a plane, it was people like, I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe. Mm-hmm. Even remember Jess Hilarious said that shit?
Yeah.
She said she was at a plane and she seen a man with a turban and she said, I don't feel safe no more. And it's like, girl, if you don't shut the fuck up. Shit. Like, everybody just trying to get on the plane. Every person with a turban is not a fucking terrorist, girl. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But this is how we use a subtle form of racism because we so mad at the next person. It's like, bro, cut it out. She owes her a public apology.
She's already apologized.
I didn't see. When did she do that?
I don't know when it was, but she has apologized.
Yeah, calling somebody uneducated, that doesn't make any sense. Why are you questioning my education when I just whoop your ass? Because I mean, obviously or apparently, I am more educated than you in tennis because I use my skill that I've acquired over X amount of time and I use it against you. So you get where are you applying that uneducated line from? Are you speaking from what? Like, are you speaking from, like, literal education? Are you speaking from, like, what? That's my question.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. You got to talk to Ostapenko. But for me, this is what I would say. I think that for What's her name? Ostapenko?
Yeah,
That's how you say it?
Jelena.
Yeah, I think above all, she's just a sore loser. Like you said, I think when you're probably expected to beat somebody and then you get smacked around, it's probably like a tough loss. And I think a lot of people don't, even adults don't really understand how to deal with that. So they don't have like that sportsmanship element to it. I did see I didn't know that part about the way she was warming up and things like that and how you're supposed to warm, whatever the case may be. I do know that there are some cases and there are things that are above my pay grade in terms of what can be deemed as like disrespectful in a certain sport. There's certain things in baseball, like if you play in baseball and you get a pitch and you think it's a ball and the umpire calls it a strike and you do like little subtle hand gestures or things like that, like it can be taken as like you kind of undermining the umpire's decision and things like that. So I say that to say that there are certain things in sports where some people may take it as disrespectful that I don't know because I'm not super into that sport like
right.
that. So if that's, Ostapenko's POV of what happened, then, I could see how she might, look at something that she did as disrespectful. I will say, too, that Ostapenko is from Latvia.
Yeah.
So sometimes there might be like a language barrier or something like that. So I think that, it is important to know that somebody from Latvia, their relationship with calling a black woman uneducated, it might not be like literally like some white woman from Michigan saying like a black woman is uneducated.
It might just be basic disrespect.
Yeah, I think she might have been saying uneducated as like, you don't know about tennis, like these are the rules and you are, you're displaying like you're not educated in the sport. So I don't mean to be like an apologist for this person.
No,
she did come out and apologize.
Nuance
but I'm
is
just,
important.
Yeah, I'm just providing context because I think that sometimes we're looking for the disrespect in things, and we're looking for the things to be racist a lot of times. And the thing about it is, there's a lot of racism out there, and we don't really have to look for it that hard. So. She ended up apologizing, and like I said, I think above all, she's just a sore loser. I don't think that she meant anything by it, and there'd be a lot of these arguments that go on in tennis. I don't think they're bad for the sport. I don't think they're good for the sport, but it just makes it more interesting because a lot of times when we don't have the big names out there, and I think Townsend is kind of making a name for herself because she's been playing really good lately, but we don't have the big names. Like Serena's retired and, things like that. I think Venus is still out there. She's like 40-some years old, still playing tennis, which is crazy. But this just makes us pay attention more. And so hopefully Townsend, I hate that, black women kind of always get the short end of the stick when it comes to these type of things. But I just hope she just uses this as fuel to go out there and keep dominating and, and not let this keep her down. But I will say, in my opinion, I think a couple things. One, I just don't know all the rules and nuances to how things are supposed to go. So if that's how she felt, that's how she felt. And then two, she did mention that Ostapenko mentioned the language barrier and how she apologized for that. And you know how it is. It's like we could be going to another country or something like that and think that we're saying the proper thing or think that we just talking. Even I think there was a situation where with Canelo, somebody called him like an MF-er once.
Yeah, and he was
and he was like, "Yo, like don't talk about my mom like that," But it's like that language barrier, and we know in America or in English when we're talking like that, it's just a phrase. It's not necessarily being disrespectful to your mom. So that's what I would say.
That's a great point. Canelo is a great point because he was super offended. Like, you called me a motherfucker? What the fuck you say? Mm-hmm. And he's like, fuck my mother. What?
Yeah.
And then afterwards, he did an interview with Big Boy. And Big Boy was like, yeah, he said, oh, yeah, you're a freaky motherfucker or whatever. And then they both start laughing because they understood by that time. You know the thing about Canelo, too? He's been much more marketable. after the English. This dude is doing all these interviews in English, and his English getting better and better and better.
Yeah.
I feel like when when Shohei Ohtani's English gets better, he's going to be a cocky motherfucker. I think we're all like, oh, he's this humble Japanese guy, blah, blah, blah. We're going to see how humble he is after he starts speaking a lot of English.
Yeah.
That's how you really start to find out, because the other, like about a week ago when they played San Diego in that series, they had a fan out there talking shit to Shohei. Shohei, you suck. You suck in this series. You can't do shit. You can't hit nothing. And then after he was talking all that shit, Shohei went up there and hit a home run. And then when after he, jogged his home run out, he went back to the dugout and he went and shook the dude's hand and slapped him on his back. And the dude was like, oh, shit, you hurt me? And he was like, yeah. He said, because I guess Shohei had a kind of a rough series. But after that, I could imagine Shohei, if, in the next 5 years or something, right? That guy's talking shit, and he's like, yeah, that's for you. Shut the fuck up, or whatever the case. And then people are going to be like, what did he say? Yeah, that American influence, man.
Yeah. Getting acclimated.
Yeah. That's going to be a hell of a fight with fucking Crawford and Canelo.
Yeah, it's in a couple weeks, man.
Oh, man.
So you got...
I can't really have anybody. I would give the nod to Canelo just because of size.
Right.
But, I mean, who... I got to say that, Crawford can beat him, though. But but Canelo, I just feel like it's gonna be a hard sell to do that.
I think if weight were not a thing, I would be leaning towards Crawford. But I just gotta see. You never know until you get into that ring.
Yeah.
I think when it comes to that size difference, because Canelo has fought a couple guys where they were faster than him and more skilled than him and stuff like that. But then when he got in there and he started putting them haymakers on him after the first couple rounds,
couldn't hold up.
Yeah, they couldn't hold up. I know. Dang, I forgot what he's like British Indian dude. I forget his name. He's super fast.
Oh man!
But he got in there and he was piecing Canelo up for the first round or so, and then Canelo just caught him and dropped him. And that Charlo brother, I forget which one.
Yeah.
He was Canelo was just too strong, too big for him in there. So I don't know. I think Crawford is a much better boxer than both of those guys, but I got to see what that first round looks like. Because it could be a thing where if Crawford take a couple punches and he like stand there and he like, oh, this is not really, or the vice versa. You just never know what it looks like.
But I also think that Canelo respects him a lot.
Yeah.
Especially a guy that had the balls he has to go up to that weight division.
Right.
It's like, okay, this dude really was fighting for legacy.
Yes.
So I think it's going to be times where instead of Crawford going for a knockout or something, he going to respect him a lot more.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be a good fight. So I'm definitely excited to watch it.
All right, man. Let's move on. Switching gears.
And it's on Netflix. So it ain't like we ain't gotta go to the, we gotta go to the streams.
Yep. All right, switching gears. Teachers' bodycon dresses. There's been some conversation on TikTok about the attire of these female teachers. And I will say this. I think that there's a lot more nuance than, these teachers just wearing inappropriate things. I think that it doesn't matter what some women wear when they got a big old fat booty and they got like big breasts. There's nothing they really can do. They can like put certain stuff on, but it's still going to look inappropriate. It's some women that's built like that. That is not their fault.
Yeah.
But it's other times where it's women that got like they got some thickness to them and they wearing inappropriate shit. And there's no reason why you should be wearing that shit around kids, man. Like there was this one girl's like, I'm the sexy teacher. Why would you want to be sexy at school? What the fuck what is your problem?
Like, who are you promoting that to?
Who are you promoting that to? And not only that, I just think that the internet has oversaturated the platforms with sex so bad. Everybody got their ass out and it's normalized behavior. When in actuality, it's like back in the day, I was telling Keith before the podcast, but if you watch Friday and you see Mrs. Parker, right? Like Miss Parker was like the hot older chick. And you look at the pants she had on, like back in the day, that was considered like that was risky. She just had some regular shorts on. It was kind of short, showing her legs off. And that was supposed to be like out of control back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
But that shit that she had on was way more appropriate than what you see a lot of chicks wearing.
Yeah.
And my thing is like, I don't expect women to dress like nuns and be covered from head to toe. But I think you need to have enough self-awareness to know, like, you know what? I have very huge breasts. What can I wear that will allow me to have myself covered up around these children?
Yeah.
You know, what kind of pants can I wear where my butt is not like, you know, bouncing and the kids seeing my booty bouncing? Because it's weird. At some point it gets weird. And let's imagine this, right? We take it real easy on women with shit like this. Imagine if you're a dude that happened to be very well endowed, right? And you got the wrong pants on, and now you walk around school with a bulge. They would not want you to be around nobody's students. They would sit you down in the office and say, "Hey, we're sorry. You know, we need to change. Maybe wear some bigger pants or something like that." You would get a stiff talking to for sure, because nobody want to be around a dude that's around students and his package is showing.
Yeah.
That dude is basically a terrorist at that point. They might as well just strap a bomb on his chest, because that's what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, I've seen some videos too, and some of these teachers ain't slick, man. They'll start the video like, "Get ready with me before I go to school," and they start the video of them like walking away. So it's just ass in the screen. They walking away with their ass facing the screen, and then they start writing on the chalkboard. And it's like, man, you obviously have a very nice body, but like, if you're supposed to be a teacher, this does not correlate with education.
Yeah.
Why are you at a school with a BBL? Why are you at school with your body all done? And it's like, I'm not saying you can't get your body done, but like, what are people doing? That's like me going to get a bunch of fucking tattoos on my face, and I'm like, you know what? I've always wanted to be an elementary school teacher. It's like, they're not going to let you around them kids like that.
Yeah. I think, you know how it is. Especially with it depends on your age group too, because I feel like with them elementary school teachers, it's a little different. Because it'd be like, all right, class, today we're going to learn our alphabet. Okay, this right here is an ass. Can you say ass with me? It's just like, I don't know. I just think that when it comes to elementary school teachers and then like high school teachers, it's like a little bit of a different tone, right?
Yeah.
Because when you have these kids that are teenagers and they a year, 2 years away from being grown, you know, it's like a different energy when you coming around and you trying to promote, you know, yourself in that manner. So I just think that when it's in elementary school, I don't think that they're necessarily trying to do it to, you know, like get attention from the kids. But I do see those teachers. You do see those TikToks where the first frame is of they booty and they have like these bodycon dresses or just like a tight dress on. But I think the biggest point is it's different for
the different body types.
Yeah, the different body types is different. So when you're like a slim woman and you're wearing those dresses, it don't look as vulgar, I guess,
absolutely,
for lack of a better term. But when you are like you got like a very shapely woman and you wearing the bodycon dress and everything like that, then it starts to look like inappropriate, which is kind of hard. I mean, not hard, but it's kind of weird to say that. Like, you know, I guess the biggest thing is you got to be mindful of your own body.
Yeah. If your figure is like very, how do I say? What's the word? Voluptuous, I guess you could say.
Yeah, but I will say even with that though, this is not happening everywhere all the time.
No,
for the most part, I personally haven't seen, you know, at least in my. Not no teacher. There are different staff that, you know, do whatever. But I haven't seen a teacher walking around looking like with the bodycon and just like, you know.
It's gotten to the point, to be honest, too, where there are even jeans that are inappropriate. Yes, they're just jeans. And looking at them, it's like they're just jeans, wear them. But when those jeans are very form-fitting, because they got jeans that will enhance your booty. If you wearing booty-enhancing jeans and you a teacher and you got a little shirt on and you just got ass just out, that's also inappropriate. Let's just keep it a bean. If you out at the mall somewhere or you going out with your homegirls for drinks and you got the booty pants on, no problem. No problem. But when you got them booty pants on in front of students, that's when it's kind of like, wait a minute. Or either you're not self-aware or you are aware and you still want to get attention in every space. If you want attention and you want to occupy every space for attention, that sounds like a mental health problem to me.
Yeah, that I still find that hard to. I would never agree with that. I don't think that there's. I mean, there might be those genes like that. I just don't think that. I don't know if. Yeah, for me personally, I wouldn't police jeans. I just feel like if you wearing jeans, because it's the same thing. Like if you're skinny and you got on these Levi jeans, it looks a certain way. But if you got, I don't know, like a Meg Thee Stallion type body and you wearing those jeans, like it's gonna be a different story.
But at the same time, it all comes down to self-awareness. You got all that ass back there. You gotta with great ass comes great responsibility.
I'm dead.
You know better than what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah.
And especially women are very, very particular about, my nails, my eyebrows. This eyebrow is not matching this eyebrow, and my toes not matching this toe. Women will bring up something about themselves, and you'll be like, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
They notice all the particulars about themselves. So not noticing something like that is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I personally am not policing no thing. I'm all about intent. If I see something and it just feels like, I can see you're trying to get attention, even if it's just attention from other staff members, it don't necessarily have to be the kids, but you just trying to get attention, just in general. That's when I deem it, inappropriate, because like I said, it's too nuanced to just say that said dress or said jeans is going to be the thing that gets you, that's deemed inappropriate.
I'm going to tell you something that's going to fuck you up. Everything we do is for attention. All of us. The clothes we wear, the shoes we wear, what we say, how we dress, the cologne we wear, the glasses we wear, all of it. It's all for some type of attention. We are all somewhat aware of what we have on. It's all intentional. Even if you say, I don't really have fashion or whatever, if you just wear jeans and some Pumas and a white T-shirt, they're still like, you're not going out there with a dirty T-shirt with stains on it that's not fucking ironed properly, right?
But we all do it for attention. I think that is true.
But how you present yourself is
the intention. What is the intention is the actual conversation. I think if the teacher is trying to get attention or compliments from some teenagers, then that's an issue.
Super inappropriate.
And like I said, even if it was other staff members, I think that if you go into work trying to look good for your coworkers, I think that's a little odd. But yeah, everybody is trying to look presentable or look good, in some way, shape, or form, whether you're wearing
and that's subjective
nice shoes
too,
or clothes or something like that.
And that's also subjective. Why it's important to have nuance. If they're trying to look good for them, they may believe that looks good for them. So if you do got the booty jeans on and it's bouncing and stuff, you may think that that's light because you like, normally I got my ass cheeks out. I at least got my butt covered up. This shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
That's also what it is. So you mentioned intent. Maybe that's the intent.
Yeah. These people, I would say, I don't know. I know all these people are kind of in an uproar on the internet, but I would just...
It ain't that deep.
I would just want people to kind of like see... I want them to be on campus and then see like various campuses and then see like how various people are dressing now. And I just would say from my perspective, it's all body type. That's the conversation is body type. Like you said, with great cake come great responsibility. So if you got a voluptuous body, you gotta move accordingly, which is unfortunate, but that's just the way it works.
I think we act a little too progressive. We act more progressive than we really are. People, you'll hear them say like, well, I don't have to dim my light because my body is like this. I'm going to wear what I want. And it's like, I respect that, but don't do that shit at school. Not at school, man. You got to be better than that. Like, we can't let people off the hook. In some cases, whether it's men or women, we got to bring shame back a little bit. Why are you like that around that young girl? Just like that dude that got busted for like being too friendly with girls at the school, and he was sending them like cash apps and stuff like that. That's an inappropriate relationship. even if it's like a hug, why are you hugging that young lady for that extended amount of time? All of these things, anything dealing with students in general should be policed because we don't know what's going on.
Oh, 100%.
And it's been too many occasions. Let's be clear. The reason why this whole body con and all this stuff is an issue too, because there's been way too many teachers fucking students. Way too many women doing it. Way too many men doing it.
Yeah.
Way too many. Imagine going to school to try to get an education and then you get fucked by a teacher. That's got to be the worst shit ever.
Right.
Like, no, man. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So this is my message, and this is not just to women. It's ultimately because women because of the whole body con stuff, but it doesn't stop with them. As men as well, make sure you have some level of being appropriate when you are around students. There's no reason why you should, be inappropriate as well, because men can be inappropriate with dress code as well.
Yeah, I've just never seen it.
I mean, bro, come on, dog. Like, if you at the school with gray sweats on and you probably shouldn't be wearing them, it could be deemed inappropriate.
I mean, it potentially could. I'm just saying, I've literally never seen that.
I got you. I'm
Yeah.
just saying it is a possibility. You know what I'm saying? You just got to be self-aware. Like I mentioned, whatever your body type is, you can't be out there. And how do I say this? You can't be out there as a man horsing around. If you got a horse, you can't be doing that. Because then, you might think of nothing of it.
Yeah.
But now it's visible to teachers and staff.
Right.
And they bring you in the room and have a conversation. And you don't think, you like, what's going on? What did I do wrong?
Yeah.
And what you did wrong is you wore gray sweatpants to school.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just go ahead and get some pants, brother.
The gray sweatpants at home.
Go ahead and retire them, man. Put them on a plaque or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's that, man. I don't think there's much else. But when I did see some of the TikToks, it was kind of crazy.
What you mean?
Oh, man, it was crazy. It was this young, attractive black woman. She's probably about 25. Body was ridiculous. And she had on like a skirt. She was like dressed up. Like if I seen her out going to like a brunch or something like that, I'd be like, yeah, that girl is fine. But like I shouldn't be able to say that same thing at a fucking school.
Right. Yeah.
Like you're not going to a brunch. You going to a school for people to get education.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to learn looking at a BBL, man. ABKCDIK R2F2 ABCDE.
That's how you would learn the alphabet if you had.
If I'm looking at ass in class all day.
Okay.
Yeah. If I'm looking at Shaniqua's ass, I can't learn that way. I can't learn.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel you. But yeah, I don't got nothing else to say about that. Hopefully they get it right. Hopefully, these teachers start wearing, just being more mindful of what they're wearing. And sometimes too, I don't know. Yeah, I don't got nothing else to say. That's it.
You don't, Keith. Why did you drag it off? Why did you keep dragging it out if you were just going to do that?
I don't got nothing to say, man.
You set it up for a base hit, and you struck out, okay?
Yeah.
All right, just like the Giants. All right, switching gears. The Home Depot. Recently, there was 14 people arrested in a depot theft ring. And I think that this is what happens when you're greedy. I don't think there's a right way to do the wrong thing, but I kind of think there is. Let me go and read this here. Police seized $3.7 million in stolen goods during a month-long investigation. So authorities in Southern California announced Tuesday the arrest of 14 accused of running what they called the largest organized retail theft operation targeting Home Depot and company's history. With 9 facing felony charges, the suspects were allegedly linked to 600 thefts at 71 different Home Depots, with losses exceeding $10 million across multiple Southern California counties. That's ridiculous. They got greedy. Jesus Christ. They basically had been able to pull off over 600 different thefts from Home Depots in the surrounding counties. Los Angeles County Attorney Nathan Hochman said they must have thought life was grand. They've been making millions of dollars. Didn't look like anyone was going to stop them. Police said David All, who ran the storefront, was at the corner of the operation, faces 48 felony counts, including conspiracy, organized retail theft, grand theft, receiving stolen property, and money laundering. Okay, look, man. Oh, Lord. this is so stupid. 37, like, dude, 3.7 million. With that much money that you made, at some point you should have stopped. Mm-hmm. They were not on to you yet. Mm-hmm. Not until you just got reckless. Mm-hmm. Y'all try to turn being a thief into a full-time job, and now the amount of time you're going to get is not worth your freedom. You want to know the main reason why I would not want to take a risk that big in general is because I love women. There are no women in prison.
Right.
You just got a bunch of dicks in there now. Congratulations, stupid. All that money you got, you about to spend the rest of your life damn near or 15, 20 years in prison. There are no women in there.
Man. Yeah.
Yeah. Any man that is a repeat offender and keeps going back to prison, this is going to sound terrible what I'm about to say. I might question your sexuality a little bit. If you keep going to prison over and over and over and over and over, and you're like, I don't give a fuck, it's like, you should.
Yeah.
Because there's no women in there.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, they might have one that looks like one in there, but that's not, it's not who you think it is.
That's funny. Yeah. When you are putting this much effort into doing a crime, you're doing it over months and months and months, and you're stealing millions of dollars worth of stuff from any store, I don't have no sympathy for that type of person.
No.
You made a joke about like a transient, and the way, I'm not gonna say it on here because it might be not really podcast worthy. Yeah. But you made a joke and basically was like, hey, I think this person can kind of do better for themselves. And that's the way I look at these Home Depot people, because if you're putting this much effort into stealing something, and this is almost like an enterprise, right? Like stealing, orchestrating theft over the course of however many months, and then doing it in such a way that the store doesn't really see it like right offhand.
Yeah.
That means that you can probably run like a legit business. Like you could probably open a store where you selling clothes or, a convenience store or something like that, or be a store manager. But instead,
you can't see past crime.
Yeah. Instead, you chose to take what you probably thought was the easy way out. But, the amount of effort that you're putting in seems like it's a tall task.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. I don't really got no empathy for people like that. Dog, go get a regular, there's people every day out here that's making $30,000 a year, that's working extremely hard just to pull together $30,000, and they're making it work, and they're not out here doing illegal stuff. So for people like this, I don't really got no empathy for them. Like, you out here doing illegal stuff to try to one up whomever, or just get further in life, and it just never works. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. I could imagine with this whole ring, like they're gonna all be snitching on each other too.
100%.
Because there's probably one guy that hasn't been busted yet, and he's just like off minding his business. He might have like went out of the country. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? He went out of the country. He might be gone. Here's a fucked up thing: if you leave the country, the way the feds work, because this is the federal crime, the way the feds work is they won't force you to come back or anything like that. But once you come on American soil, they're gonna be waiting on you.
Yeah.
They're going to be waiting on you or whatever, because as soon, I guess your name pops up in this database. So once you get back on American soil, they're going to detain you and take you to prison.
Yep.
They're going to flag you. So if somebody is considered also a flight risk, then you're automatically flagged through TSA. Mm-hmm. But if you get on that flight before you get flagged, and you're in Thailand or you're whatever country you're in, you better fucking stay over there.
Yeah, I mean, if you're doing that type of illegal stuff, I don't imagine you catching a plane, especially if you want it. But
imagine. But hold on, what if you was a part of that ring, but you also had the foresight to say, hey man, we're getting a little too out of control. Mm-hmm. I think they're onto us, and they're like, oh no, they're not onto us, man. We got this shit figured out. He'd be like, dude, I'm getting out of the country. He's like, you're gonna leave? Are you that scared? And he's like, yeah, man, I'm out of here. Yeah. And then now, 2 weeks, a month, whatever later, they get busted, and the guy that was a part of the ring originally, he's gone.
Yeah.
That can't happen. All I say is this. There's no right way to do the wrong thing, but there's some things I've done in the past I'm not proud of, but I never got in any trouble for it because I stopped myself from doing it.
Yeah.
Right? I haven't always been the most upstanding person. I will not confirm or deny whatever it is I had have taken from somewhere or whatever to make money off of it, allegedly. But but it happened. It happened, and you can learn from something without getting in trouble. And I think that's unfortunately they don't get that same reasoning. Now they got to be around a dude that's been locked up for 35 years and does not have relations with a woman.
Yeah, they're like man, but
yeah, that's bad. Those guys, after they be in prison for so long, they just like fuck it, I ain't getting out.
Yeah,
where that butt at?
Man, I had a cousin who he was he wrote a formal complaint to the judge or something like that, and they were keeping him because he has some sexual assault allegations. But essentially, he was complaining to
What the hell?
Eddie, we're doing a podcast.
I know, man. I don't know what the fuck's
on. He was complaining to the judge or trying to get an appeal for him to be moved into general population so he could be around men. Basically, they was keeping him away from all the men in prison because he was, he had a history of sexual assault. So he was really trying to fight for his right to be around man, and they just was keeping him away. So
yeah, what's his name? Felice Johnson.
Yeah.
Fucking weirdo. I don't get why they had him on like a 20v1 or something.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was like had girls coming up like, yeah, I like you. You nice and you got nice body. It's like, dude, you did a whole interview about fucking dudes and sometimes without their consent, and they got him on a show. Like, fuck no, that guy should be in prison somewhere.
Right. Yeah.
They did like a lie detector test, and they said how many bodies you got, right? And then they said 20, and then no, he said like over 20, and he's like, yeah, and then they said that's true, and then they said something like, do you have over 100 bodies? And he says no, and they were like, lie detector test determined that was a lie.
Dang.
This nigga had 100 bodies. He spent most of his time in prison.
Yeah.
So imagine how wild that is, that stat.
100 bodies is crazy.
100 bodies, and a lot of them is not females. I guess he's engaged now or married.
Yeah, I heard he had a woman.
That's wild. And then imagine her. She knows what he's done.
Yeah.
He must have rationalized it to her.
She's probably just very progressive.
Yeah, he was like, it don't mean nothing to me. I have butt. I don't need more butt. I just want a warm man. And she fucking fell for that shit.
Yeah.
Golly, man.
Yeah.
That's nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to what's his name? The creator of what's the name of that show? Boondocks.
Aaron Magruder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Aaron Magruder was he was using real life and turning it into satire, because sometimes life is so wild that nothing you can do but laugh at it.
Yeah, he was probably, and this goes back to the comic book. I mean, not comic book, but the comic strip days he had. He was just very. He would do. Boondocks was like the Chappelle Show, but in a cartoon form. He had that great sense of what social commentary would make for good comedy. So yeah, Boondocks was dope.
Yeah, shout out.
They were supposed to bring it back, but I don't know what happened. I think the deal probably fell through. This is what I would say. I don't know Aaron Magruder personally, but that seems like a layup, like a no-brainer, right? To have the Boondock, especially like what's going on now. You can double back on a lot of that stuff. You can double back on the R. Kelly situation. You could double back on some of those other shows, and with the Usher situation right now, he got his the tour and people breaking up over it. It's just so many things that they could kind of revisit. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe one day somebody will give that man the resources to make that show again.
This nigga Usher got the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah.
You go to one of his shows, you bring your girl there, she could be the best girl ever. Like, oh my God, take my clothes off, Usher. And it's like, I really want to be so mad at this so bad. I really want to be mad at this so bad. My God.
That's funny.
Yeah, but the women,
What's
man.
the name was on what's his name? What's the dude's name? He was number 0 on the Wizards.
Freaking
Gilbert
Arenas.
Yeah, Gilbert Arenas. He was on a thing with his girl. I think it was his wife, something like that.
I know that she's a YouTuber.
Yeah, and she was asking him, like, yo, if I went to the Chris Brown concert and was taking pictures like that, like, would you be mad at that or whatever? And he was like, why would I be mad? And she's like, if he's like hugging on me and, or he might be behind me while we're taking a picture. And he's like, is he having sex with you? And she's like, no, we're just taking a picture. And he's like, then why would I be mad? So he seemed to be okay with.
He full of shit. That's manipulation. Any man that loves their woman don't want no man with his, behind his woman with his meat on her butt. Absolutely not.
I don't think he lying. I don't know why he would lie about that.
I mean, you don't got to know if he lied or not. I'm speaking for some men. Like, I just don't.
Yeah.
It's just weird. For me, at some point, you become a cuck. If I'm not going to be watching my wife getting humped on by some dude, fuck that at all. And if the conversation came up and she's like, I would like to take those pictures, I'd be like, well, you'd like to be single.
Yeah.
You're not going to be making me look stupid like that, because I can't do something comparable and then you come back to me. Like, I can't be with, I don't know, some girl that I've seen on a show or a movie that I clearly have said that I liked, and now I'm like hugging on her. Man, women would lose their motherfucking mind if they seen that.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, so
I was just more so talking about Gilbert Arenas.
Yeah, well, yeah, Gilbert could say that shit, but I think that he might understand that she would never do it. So sometimes men will say that to seem like fake secure. I'm gonna tell you to your face. If you say, "Would you have a problem with that?" I'd be like, "Absolutely, I would." I'm not gonna lie to nobody. You could think and feel about me however you want, as long as I'm being authentically true to myself. Then it is what it is. If that's a problem, then you may gladly walk out the picture.
Yeah.
I've seen some pictures of Chris Brown, and it was this one girl. She had her BBL was on like extremely. It was like XXL BBL, right? And he was like hugging her and then like grabbing her booty, but he had like a whole handful of ass, and she was like smiling. And I'm like, oh my God, like you paid this man $1,000 to grab your ass like that?
Yeah, man.
That's what kills me is not even the women, it's the dudes that ask for the picture. And then they take it was this one dude that took like the Dragon Ball Z do the finger touch thing. He did that Dragon Ball Z thing with Chris Brown.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I'm gonna tell you like this. If you take a picture with Chris Brown, I'm gonna think you want that nigga to hug you from the back.
Nah, man. It's Chris Brown
man, paying that man $1,000 to do a Dragon Ball Z, man.
I wouldn't personally do it, but
hell fucking no.
I'm not gonna talk bad about a man that is trying to meet Chris Brown.
Nigga, I will.
That's like Chris Brown is a musician. He's one of the most popular musicians.
I'm not paying no nigga $1,000 to take a picture with him. I don't care how cool we look. I'm not taking no picture. Like if I'm out somewhere and we got a regular photo and I ain't got to pay Chris Brown, I'll take the picture.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not paying no nigga $1,000.
$1,000 is a lot.
Hell yeah.
But that's part of the game.
For $1,000, you could actually get a woman and take her and hang out with her and take her on a date and take a picture with an actual woman. I'm not paying no nigga $1,000. That's
She's not Chris Brown though.
Huh?
She not Chris Brown.
She has a vagina. That's all she needs. That's all you want $1,000 from me? All you gotta do is be cool and have a vagina, and I would gladly pay to take a woman out, and not even pay her for sex.
Yeah.
Well, ultimately, you kind of are paying for sex a little bit.
Yeah.
It's only about 20% paying for sex. All the rest of the stuff is because I like you, right? The dinner or the hanging out, maybe some clothes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You can't get much for $1,000 these days, though.
Yeah, $1,000 don't get you
it don't get you much
as far as it used to.
Yeah. So it's like, actually, we can negotiate the price. Let's just go to the hotel first, and then after that, we could determine where we go from here.
Yeah.
I'll be like, actually, it went from 1,000 to 2,500 now. That performance in there at the Hyatt Hotel, that was very. I'm convinced.
That's funny.
Oh man, price went up. All right, switching gears. Catholic school shooting, and for those, I know that these school shootings are becoming such an oversaturated conversation, but this school and shooting should not be in the same fucking sentence. We should never just accept this. Anyways, Minneapolis school shooter Robin Westman confessed he was tired of being trans. I wish I never brainwashed myself. Transgender mass shooter Robin Westman confessed that he was tired of being trans and wished he never brainwashed himself in a manifesto posted online before he slaughtered 2 children and wounded 18 more at a Minneapolis church. In a twisted handwritten journal he shared on YouTube before the massacre, much of which is encrypted in a homespun code of Russian Cyrillic script and English words, Westman groaned about his long hair and his decision to transition. I only keep my long hair because it is pretty much last shreds of being trans. I am tired of being trans. I wish I never was brainwashed myself, he wrote, according into a translation by the Post. Okay. I think this has less. I think he just overall has a mental health problem. That's my thing. I think that a lot of right-wing outlets are going to use this as, the mass shooting, but I think all the mass shooters have one thing in common. They are mentally unwell. They are mentally unwell. This whole trans shit don't got too much to do with anything else. Whether I don't give a fuck if they're trans or not. That's not an important conversation to me. I think that he had an identity crisis, obviously. That was one thing. But an identity crisis should never draw you to go into a school and shoot kids. I don't give a fuck what's going on in your life. That's inexcusable behavior. I think we've made it to a point now where these mass shooters are just going to be getting punished. Like they're not going to be able to get into these schools. And also, like, how the fuck does this keep happening? Like, I thought schools were locked down.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know how that school was set up particularly, so I can't really say. But they do make it harder for you to get on campus. In most cases, most schools are still trying to figure out what that looks like. So, I don't know what that school setup looks like.
These schools need to expedite that process now. Because what's crazy is when I graduated high school back in 2003, we had an open campus. We came and went as we pleased. The only notable mass shooting that had happened in America that we really knew about was Columbine. That was my freshman year. But actually, I think it was the end of my 8th grade year where Columbine happened. And it was just so wild that somebody would go to a school and shoot. But now you see another mass shooting. It's just a fucking random Tuesday.
Yeah.
And it's like, dog, I said this before and I will say it again. And we can sit here and I just got to say this. If you're a person of faith, I think that's perfectly fine. I think that there is power in prayer. But I think that thoughts and prayers is coming up a little insufficient because evil exists. Doesn't matter how much you pray. Evil will knock on your door. Doesn't matter. You cannot pray away evil. It's going to be there. And I think in some cases, you could be a praying man and a shooting man at the same motherfucking time. Because if this idiot comes on campus and there's kids involved, they won't make it past that front gate before they are neutralized. That has to happen. There's a young boy that was interviewed right after the mass shooting happened. I don't know his name, but I don't want to give his name as well. But he literally described what happened. His friend got shot right next to him, and they had cameras in his face. Mm-hmm. I think that's worse than the mass shooting itself. Have we become so desensitized that we're interviewing children right after a mass shooting? Like, it's just a fucking story to y'all. It's just a story to right-wing outlets when it comes to the trans stuff. They're like, he was a trans lunatic. Like, don't use this as a talking point for right-wing shit. And the left, don't use this as a talking point for we need to get rid of guns. How about we find a solution? The kids stop getting shot. Guns have been here for too long. They're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere. Mm-hmm. You cannot strip citizens of guns. You just cannot. So we got to have another conversation. Mm-hmm. We're going to have like metal detectors. We're going to have police at schools because this shit keeps happening. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I am beyond tired of talking about this shit. We talked about numerous mass shootings over the years since we've done this podcast. I don't even know. I can't even count how many we've talked about.
Yeah, it's been a lot.
It's been too many. Yeah. And then the sad part about it is after we talk about it, we just go about our lives. And it's just like, hey, I'm hungry. What's for dinner? And it's like, honestly, we should all be sick to our stomachs. But it's just, we're just desensitized, man.
Yeah. I think the reason for that is because there's everything is a case by case basis. You
Yeah.
know, there are in this particular situation, he's shooting at a church, right? And this is a place that he's very familiar with because he went to the school there, and it's yeah. So I don't know like what they can do in those particular situations. Obviously, you can have security guards and maybe somebody armed on the campus, but I think that there's not a lot of advancement in this because partially because it just happens. You just don't expect it to happen. You don't expect somebody to come in there with a gun. And then even if you do have some sort of security, like even for example, like I don't even want to talk about my church specifically, but I'm just saying churches in general. Every Sunday, anybody can just walk in there. There's not like there's a thing where they're IDing people or you're not walking through a metal detector or anything like that. So, that's just kind of how it works. Like in really any space, whether you're walking into Walmart or Target or Best Buy or whatever, that's just kind of how it goes. They are, more concerned about people stealing than somebody shooting it up. It's just such a random occurrence that you just don't think would happen. I think I don't have the answers for it, and I'm not going to sit up here and act like I know what to do in these situations. I do know that they're trying to, at least, in our district, they're trying to prepare everybody for these situations. They're locking down the campuses. There's no more open, campuses where, like Eddie mentioned back in the day, we used to be able to just walk to the store at lunchtime and then come back, and you just had to make sure you're back, within the 30-minute lunches or whatever. But it ain't like that no more. So, that's kind of what they're doing now. Even now, I went to the district to do, I don't know what I went for. It doesn't matter. But I went to the district, and they even have like a call, like almost like a call. What are these things called? Like a little call box or something like that.
Okay.
Where you would
Intercom?
press it. Yeah. So you press it and you say like, hey, I'm here to drop this off or whatever. But when I walked up, they talked to me first. It was like, hey, what do you need? Or, whatever the question was. And I was like, oh, I just got to drop this paper off. And then, or a check off, whatever. And they was like, all right. And then they kind of buzz you in. So that's like what it looks like now to be, most of these educational institutes, because I think everybody is a little bit on edge. So I think people are doing things, but I think that there's just some places where it's just like so far fetched. And it's almost like, what do you do outside of have everybody walk through with bulletproof vests? I will say, though, the thing that kind of bothers me the most is there's always these people that come out, and they have like this revisionist version of how these people carry themselves, right?
Right.
So a couple of the kids were saying like, man, even in junior high, he was like, doing like a Hail Hitler sign, and he was like always like so infatuated with school shootings and things like that. And I'm like, yo, these are things that should be reported in real time.
Absolutely. Concurrently.
He's in junior high after a lot of these shootings are happening. So that should be, I don't know if teachers were alerted, school psychologists, whatever the case, but these are things that, in my situation, if I knew this, or if there were kids around me that were like making jokes about it or whatever, that's something I for sure would be talking to the deans and administration about, because that is it's every single time it happens. Every time it happens, you have these people like, yeah, he just started acting different, and, he started wearing black clothes, and, he would just stop hanging around people and things like that. It's like, yo, why are we only saying this in retrospect? Why aren't we saying this to prevent these things from happening? Why aren't we saying this to get this person the psychological help that they need, especially when, it seems like the writing was on the wall? So, yeah, that's the part that, that is disappointing for me, that all these kids can come out. And, I understand it's a lot of it is like, oh, this did happen, and I didn't think that this type of thing would happen. But we have lived enough life to know that's the connection right there. When they're Googling these weird things, when they're, having these, strange conversations around, mass shooters and things like that. That's what is the thing that leads to these type of school shootings.
Yeah, not only that, I think we're so distracted by not only our living situations, but in addition, we have smartphones now, and it takes our attention away from what these kids are doing. I think that there are more distractions, not to say that we're not paying attention. We just don't take things as serious as we should. We always think that things won't land on our doorstep, and that's not how it works.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And matter of fact, I'm going to tell you this much. I don't think I'm above anything crazy happening to me because it happens every day to other people. And that's what makes me be on my toes big time. I got off of work Friday morning, right? Basically, I got off at midnight. Thursday, but at midnight, it obviously turned Friday. And when I had to get some gas, right? So I pulled into this 7-Eleven to get some gas. And when I pulled in, I seen this car kind of swoop into a parking spot right by the store. And as I was about to open my door and get out, he opened his door and was about to get out, right? Mm-hmm. But I was waiting for him to get all the way out of his truck or his car. He stayed in his truck and he just started looking at his phone. Man, I closed my door and drove the fuck off. Swear to God, this is the other day. Yeah. I'm not saying that doesn't mean that he was trying to rob me or he was even thinking about me. It's to say that my gut and my instincts didn't trust that motherfucker. And I think what happens is you got a lot of people out here, adults that are around these children. You got zero survival instincts and you just are like, oh, it should be fine. It's just an ordinary day. I mean, during a mass shooting, that's how every day start. It start off as an ordinary day. There's nothing out of the ordinary when a motherfucker comes in there. The birds are chirping. You got school lunch cooking in the cafeteria. You got teachers teaching and shit like that. And all of a sudden, this evil is approaching the school.
Yeah, it's a little different though because he's been graduated. Like he's 23 now, so he's been out of high school for a while. But I'm just saying when it was really happening, there was opportunities for him to get some sort of help, and it didn't happen. So
I think that people, also family members, you could do a better job of, stepping in when you see something wrong with a person in your life. Mm-hmm. I think we got a lot of people in our family. We just let them walk around, and they be real odd people, and we just let them go, and it's like this guy's gonna do something crazy.
Yeah, it'd be some weird situations, man.
Yeah, you see people's aggression sometimes. There was this guy I used to know back in the day, back in high school, and he was like, "Hey, what's up, girl? You pretty? Let me get your number." And she'd be like, "No, I have a boyfriend." He's like, "Fuck you, then, bitch."
Dang.
I've seen him do this shit a couple times, and I was like, "What's wrong with this guy?" Mm-hmm. Like that doesn't make any sense to call her bitch and be mad at her.
Yeah, that
you
ain't
just
normal.
called her pretty. Now you calling her a bitch or a fat. That's what make it worse when they insult them. Like, yeah, fat bitch, and it's like you just wanted her, bro.
Yeah, just 5 seconds ago.
She wasn't fat 5 seconds ago. Mm-hmm. You look right past them rolls.
Yeah, shallow how.
Yeah. Oh man, but the only answer that I have, I'm being honest. The only answer that I have is you got to neutralize these people. You got to be able to see a threat before it comes. And by the time it gets there, you cannot be afraid to execute that plan. I think that I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. I'm going to say it. Every school should have a sniper on the roof. Every school should have a sniper on the roof. Every school. Every school. Because they got them in baseball stadiums. I think it was I think the Seahawks got one, I think. It's a sniper at the motherfucking stadium.
Dang.
So it's like if we could protect a football field, we can protect students. There should be literally a trained sniper that has an undisclosed location at the school. Mm-hmm. That is, maybe he's either acting as a teacher or he's just the guy that's at the school. Just street clothes. Nothing serious. Mm-hmm. Street clothes. That's it. Street clothes. And his job is to be on the roof. Mm-hmm. His job is to be where he can see the whole campus. So we've gotten to a point we are so relaxed, they better find a budget to hire snipers. Every school should have a sniper, at least one.
Yeah.
And they don't need to have their names exposed. They don't need to be listed as faculty. It just needs to be known that there is a sniper on the roof somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's where we are, man. I would hate to say it. Okay, this is the parallel that I'm about to say. Me saying that high schools and schools need a sniper is the same thing as me saying schools should be giving away free condoms. Teen pregnancy is a huge issue, but we're like, what are we going to do about teen pregnancy? It's like, well, at least have an outlet for them to use. I'm not saying it's right, but at the same time, we know that it's an issue, but yet we do nothing. We do nothing. You got a bunch of kids that can't even afford protection. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like you're applauding them for doing and giving them free protection, but if they did decide to do that, at least it would be safe and you would have less teen pregnancy. But we're just like, no, we can't give away condoms. We can't.
Yeah.
Okay, keep not doing it. And you're going to have a bunch of pregnant teenagers walking around your campus. There's that.
Yeah. I don't got nothing else to say.
Yeah. All right. I knew that, Keith. I knew you had nothing to say. You were speechless. As soon as you start saying the I'm like, either he's going to break out singing the Negro spiritual or he's just not going to say anything else. All right. Switching gears, Will Smith accused of using AI to create fake crowd in concert performance footage. It does not look great. Will Smith, I don't know why he did it. Will Smith is facing accusations of using artificial intelligence to create a crowd in a video shared online. Smith, 56, posted a YouTube clip allegedly featuring scenes from a tour performance, but eagle-eyed fans were too quick to point out purported inaccuracies in the video. The Getting Jiggy With It singer appeared to be singing to a packed room while on tour, only for distorted images to materialize in the crowd. Smith shared a video featuring his song "You Can Make It," which showed fans singing along to the musician. Woo! Excuse me. Some of the fans held up signs which read, "You can make it. It helped me survive cancer. Thanks, Will. My favorite part of our tour is seeing you all up close." What the hell? Smith captioned the short clip shared on his social channels. Thank you for seeing me too. Okay, this is what I got to say about Will. Will Smith recently, I don't want to say he's taking L's. I think it takes a lot for a 56-year-old man to, try to reignite his passion, which is hip hop, right? And it takes a lot of humility to fall on your face at 56 and not be afraid what people think. Now, I will say this. After looking at the video, it's absolutely AI in that motherfucker for sure. It's absolutely AI in it. It's some images that just don't look right to the eye. I think you could trick a boomer, though. If he was like a baby boomer that don't really know technology, you'd be like, wow, that show is packed, right? But honestly, the show looks like it has a decent crowd without the AI. Like, there's a decent amount of people there, but some of the images, just don't look right. There's a part where they freeze frame it, and it's this dude's face, and it looks like NBA 2K from 2012.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah.
You look like a glitch. It looked like a glitched out DeMar DeRozan, man. I'm like, come on, buddy.
The thing with me is I just don't understand it. Like, he's been doing it seems like festivals or something like that. I don't really know, but it looks like he's over in Europe, and he has doing these kind of amphitheaters and outdoor stadiums and things like that. And the shows are packed out. There's people from the bottom floor seats to the nosebleeds. They got their phones out, they're recording. They look like they're having a good time. And Will Smith is he's a legendary act. He's I can't think of the name for it, but
legacy act.
Yeah, he's a legacy act. So he has hits, all the way from the probably late '80s where he was rapping. But
yeah,
this to me is more mind-boggling because when he does the AI, it's like specific frames. So I don't know if he's trying to sell a narrative that that he's touching people emotionally, or people are just, resonating with his music so much that he needs to put these messages out there that it's more than just having a good time. Like, Will Smith is really out here changing people's lives. I don't know if it's, off the back of this Chris Rock thing that he's trying to, promote himself as like a person that is like doing good for people. So I don't know. I don't know what the point behind it is, but I don't think he's trying to sell that his shows are like more packed than they are, because when you look at the wide shots of his shows, you can tell that it's packed in there. All these shows are packed out, and people in Europe at least are loving hearing him rap. So that part I just don't get. I don't know. I don't really know what it is. I don't even know. I can't even come up with a thought why he would do it. It just doesn't make sense to me. But it looks weird. It looks corny because, like I said, he's actually selling shows and people are actually excited to see him. So I don't understand why you would put these weird AI, images coupling them with actual real footage. So
only thing I could come up with is insecurity. You might be insecure because you're not as big as you were at one point when you were doing hip hop, and maybe you might feel the need to be slightly fraudulent and think that nobody will see it. I think that's a possibility. I'm not saying that's exactly what happened, but I can't think of any other reason for that. Why the fuck would you use AI that terrible? And not to mention, who vetted that? Like, who is the person that does your editing or does your videos? They must not like him or something. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Will Smith posted a video of him he didn't post a video. There was a video of him performing live, and he's like, I like pretty girls. And the audience was so flat.
yeah,
It was so flat. But once again, it takes a lot of courage to come out and put out music and people not rock with it. But I think Will might be refreshed by that, possibly too. Because maybe so many people have been clapping for him for so long, it might feel like humbling to finally have people not like your shit. And maybe he's putting out the music he wants.
yeah,
But even with that, I don't understand the AI, man. Don't do that.
yeah.
This AI was worse than I Am Legend. You might as well have had those fucking zombies in the audience with the way he did his AI.
That's the weird part for me, is that Will Smith came out the gate swinging. Like, his social media, the way he was putting his videos together, it was like a production every time he made a post, and he was actually exciting to watch on the internet. He's since slowed down, and maybe because he realized that is unsustainable. But I don't really get it. From going from like really having like some dope edits and things like that to, or and almost taking advantage of like some of the trending things and just kind of putting his own Will Smith production to it. He was doing really dope stuff. So for him to go from that to this weird AI stuff is crazy. And I seen too that people were commenting on the video, and it seemed like, and I don't know in what order he's seen certain things, but some of the negative comments, like calling it AI, he kind of skipped over. But then some of the positive things, like, "Hey, Will Smith, you really changed my life. Thank you." He responded to those.
Yeah, somebody else running that fucking social media too.
I was just like, man, I don't know what's going on, dude.
A lot of people are saying that, like, I use AI, but like when I ran back with, like, when I talked to Jada, she was like, I don't even know what AI is. Is that like Allen Iverson? And I'm like, yeah, that's Allen. Oh. Yeah, that shit was, oh my God. Yeah, shout out to Will though, man, but don't ever do that again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think those of us that are young enough to know what AI looks like, especially these young people, they're gonna be like, dude, what is that? Yeah, but there's that, man. You got anything else on Will, man?
Nope.
We go ahead and move on from Will then, man. All right, we'll wrap it up with this one. For all those switching gears, for all of you guys that know, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift got engaged, and that probably means nothing to most of you guys, and I understand. But this is the podcast, and that is probably one of the most relevant stories that are happening in today's headlines. No, it's not a cure for cancer, okay? No, it's not giving back to the poor, but it's Travis Kelce, goddammit, okay? It's Taylor Swift, one of the biggest artists in the world. I'll tell you right now, when you marry a woman like Taylor Swift, that's a different level, because she's marrying you because she loves you, because she's a literal billionaire.
Right.
My God, can you imagine that?
Her music catalog is worth so much money.
It's worth so much money. And the thing about it is you have women that are like powerful women that are marrying. I'm not saying that Travis Kelce is, some regular guy. He's statistically the best tight end ever, right? But then you got women like Rihanna that's with like A$AP Rocky. And A$AP Rocky is a successful artist. But like if we were talking about levels, he not on her level like even fractionally.
Yeah.
Like when you talk about like achieving greatness, she's operating on a different frequency than he is. But like when women rock with you and they love you, then that's what they doing.
Especially her, because she's dated every pop singer and actor in Hollywood.
She dated that rich oil guy too, that dude from that Dubai Prince type guy.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Side note, you heard that what's the dude's name?
French Montana. He married the fucking princess of Dubai or whatever.
Yeah, or he's engaged, I think, to the
Yeah.
princess of Dubai. Yeah, man, these people coming up out here.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So came up, married girl from Dubai. Huh? Man, that's crazy.
Yeah. But I think for me personally, I think it's dope because everybody was kind of praying for their downfall. Like, oh, they're just doing this for ratings. And, I don't know. I don't live my life in a way where I think that everything on the internet is fake. But, they're engaged. I think, Travis Kelce definitely is one. And like I said, it's one of those things where Taylor Swift has dated a lot. And I'm not trying to make it sound bad. I'm just saying like she's dated various people. So for her to date that many people and then for them to kind of like, this is the first time, at least to our knowledge, that she's been engaged and, they about to do the big one. Good for them. I don't have nothing negative to say about that. So shout out to Travis Kelce, shout out to Taylor Swift. Let's see how his season plays out, especially because once he lock it down and they get married, and who knows when they're going to get married, and I would imagine it's going to be after the football season. So it's definitely going to be probably in the summertime summertime of next year. But yeah, I don't know. I think he's he's on the tail end of his career. He probably, ready to settle down. Taylor Swift, she got $1 billion. Like it's perfect timing for both of them. So yeah. Shout out to the Kelces, man.
Yeah, shout out to them, man. I think ultimately when it comes to Taylor Swift, we could be annoyed with whatever they got going on, but she's not the one that's doing it. All she's doing is showing up to games as if any other girlfriend or wife already does that, showing support. It's the media that's really digging into the situation.
Yeah.
It's like the media, they show her every time they score a touchdown, they keep panning over to Taylor fucking Swift. And it's like that's actually not her fault at all.
More importantly than the marriage stuff, Taylor Swift, and I haven't watched the full thing, Taylor Swift just went on the podcast with both Travis Kelce and Jason, right?
Yeah.
And she talking big business about her music royalties and stuff like that.
Wow.
So that's a conversation like the for us, we always crack jokes on Taylor Swift and stuff like that, but in terms of her business acumen and what she did to, accrue, and take advantage or, get her masters and things like that, she is very informative about the music business, and it not only translates to music, just in content in general. She's definitely a person that people need to study more because she is one of the only people that has generated that much money off their own music career.
Yeah.
Because everybody else is getting taken advantage of out here.
She had that situation with Scooter Braun for a little bit.
Yeah. Or she had to re-record all of her music, but I believe, to my knowledge, she got all of her music back. So she was going platinum off of her re-recordings, and now she got all of her other music back. So, yeah, she really.
You know what's wild? I wonder if you can re-record with AI, and slightly change the pitch or change something so subtle that it's considered a new recording.
Yeah, you can.
Really?
I mean, I don't know why she would do that because she actually sings, but
right.
Yeah, you could do that. I mean, that I know. Was it Freeway or one of those artists? I forget which one it was. Maybe Beanie Siegel.
Uh-huh.
I think he's been using AI because I think he lost a lung and it changed the way his voice sounds. So he's been using AI to make music. Like he'll record it and then he'll use the AI version of his older voice to do it. Yeah. Yeah. So I think you could do that. I think for her it would be a little weird because, you know, I don't know. But most of the stuff, because with the master is just the actual recording. So essentially what she did was like do covers of her own song. And then she made like a full album of it. So she had to do the whole music over and everything like that to in order for it to be like a new song. So yeah.
Okay. Well, executive producer here, Keith Fingers, has given us some great insight on the music industry. I'd like you guys to reach out to him if you have any questions about creating an album or things of that nature.
Come to a Trucker's Mind Records.
Oh man, being all dancing in the videos.
If you tired of your producer all in the videos.
Yeah, man. All right. Well, look here, man. We genuinely appreciate you guys. If you made it to the end of this episode, thank you for listening to a Trucker's Mind podcast. I'm Eddie McGee.
It's your boy K Fings.
We're out of here.
Peace.